What's up, guys? Hello and welcome again to yet another episode of Sprites, Bytes and Pixels. Wilson is having a great time with his cat, and I think my view is not set up properly. There we go. Now we're all on screen now. It's good. Before I had just only the person that was speaking was on screen, so I don't think people could see you nuzzling with your cat. But now we're back to normal. Everything's good in the world. Wilson is just giving you guys a preview of what was happening before, so we are good. Feels like time has been flying over the past it's been less than a year, like 6, 7, 8 months since we started this. Since we started Sprites, Bytes, and Pixels.
Actually, we started, I want to say over a year ago, but because of the whole COVID, we took like a few pauses in between. I think we had like a hiatus of 5 or 6 months between, I think, the first and second episode or the second and the third. But
yes.
Ever since then, we've been doing an episode every 2 weeks. Well, I've been posting an episode on YouTube or whatever every 2 weeks.
That is crazy because in my mind, it's only been like 6 months. So time is flying. We're missing out on the world. You know, COVID needs to go away. Everybody needs to be good to go, get it out of their system so we can all hang out and do video game swaps.
That would be nice.
That's my spiel. Also, we have another spiel. So right now we're sitting at 43 subscribers on YouTube. We thought that it would be a good time to do a giveaway, so we try to push our way to 100 subscribers. So what we're going to do is once we hit 100 subscribers, we're going to do a random giveaway using randomizer.org or whatever that website is called. And we will be giving away a Super Nintendo system loose with one controller and a copy of Super Mario World. So if you want to get in on this, just be a subscriber, and then we will figure everything else out. Hopefully we can get there within the next 5, 6 episodes. 53, 57 people, not too big of a deal. I was saying that time flies, and I think that's a great segue into what our topic is today, which is speedrunning. It's something that I'm not crazy familiar with, but we have a new guest, a special guest with us today. Ryan, maybe you want to introduce yourself, give a bit of details about you.
Oh, I thought I was just sorry. I got all excited and everything.
Let's do this all over again.
Like, this is my chance. I can do this. But no, of course it's Ryan. So as Ryan was saying, Ryan, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are. Your shirt sizes. All that stuff. Your favorite drink.
My shirt sizes are changing constantly because of COVID. The pounds keep going up and down.
Nice.
But I'm just old time gamer. Started with the actually it was probably with the Atari system, but never really owned one. But my own system was, of course, the first Nintendo, the originals.
Cool.
And I used to be a big time collector, like a big library, but I liquidated everything a few years ago. So I still have a whole ton of PS3 though for now.
Hey, PS3 prices are going through the roof right now. So
yeah, that's why I'm holding on to them.
It was so random. It like popped up out of nowhere. PS3 was so cheap. For the longest time, you could buy games for like $1, $2 a piece.
That's when I got them.
Yeah, out of nowhere, like 3 months ago, it's like everything has gone up like 20 times.
Just before COVID hit, I actually picked up Lollipop Chainsaw for $5.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was actually during the lockdown. One of the pawn shops opened up, when they lifted it for a while there.
Yeah.
And I happened to scoop it then.
Nice.
Why is it that every time I think of like PS3 prices going up, I think of Lollipop Chainsaw right off the top of my head? Like, when you were saying, Robin, when you were saying the price of PS3 prices were going up, did you think of Lollipop Chainsaw? Because
no, I'm thinking about Asura's Wrath
right away. Sorry,
Asura's Wrath.
That one too,
yeah. That's one that I know Tang has been. I think he just picked his copy up, but it was very rare for you to see a PS3 game hit like $100, but now there's many of them.
And also another one is I still have my original copy of 3D Dot Game Heroes, which is pretty much the only Zelda game on the PS3.
It's one of the rare titles too, right? They're not that easily accessible.
No.
really good game too. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot to do. It's very cryptic, and the soundtrack is dope.
It
Like,
is.
it's really, really good. And it fell off the radar pretty quickly. I think more people know about it now, but it's definitely not a popular title.
Yeah, I had no idea what it was, and then I did an inventory count at the store. And I'm like, oh, let me check up PS3 prices just so I can get back up to speed on stuff. I'm like, this shit is fucked. I have a copy of that game. I've never played it before, and it's like everything's going through the roof. DS prices, Wii U, PS3. It's just crazy world we live in right now.
For sure.
Again, I saw with that lifting of the lockdown rules, I saw a copy of 3D Dot Game Heroes at a shop again, and it had a printed sticker of $9 on it, and someone went in and put in a 5 in front of it with a pen. So it jumped from whatever they priced it out. They probably priced it out at 19. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt, right? And they just penned it in with a Sharpie. 59 now.
I remember when we were running the flea market booth in Pickering, and we started in November of 2019. And then I think we hit lockdown in the spring of 2020. So the market was closed for like 2 or 3 months. And when it opened up again, people were coming in just trying to pick up everything because prices had gone up. And I guess people were just going like flea market to flea market, store to store, just picking stuff up. So it's been pretty hectic trying to keep up with prices. They're all over the place, it seems.
Why don't we sorry,
go ahead.
Gaming or what we've been playing.
Oh yes. I feel like we just jumped into like a tangent, which is what we do anyways.
That's what we're popular for.
Yes, exactly. Amazing. All right, cool. So I guess, special guest Ryan, maybe you want to give us some insight into what you're playing right now.
What I'm playing right now?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm on the last level of Doom 64 and I screwed up and I'm just getting handed to me. So I probably have to restart it.
The entire game?
Yeah.
Holy shit. How long did it take you to get to the last level?
A few days, on and off, type of thing, right?
Yeah.
So I've never played Doom 64 before, so it's kind of like the last one I need to do for the complete set, other than the new one. Eternal, yeah.
Cool.
I haven't played any of the newer Dooms, but I have a great fondness for Doom 64. I got pretty obsessed with it, especially like when you first started playing it. Like, you hated the controls. On the N64 controller, the controls were absolute garbage. But if you go into the options and you change your strafing and shit like that, it's a lot more easier and a lot more accessible. So once I learned how to do that, it was a really good time. And the levels are pretty big and open, and there's a lot to find. There's a lot of secret areas and some crazy enemies too. And it looks great. I think it still holds up. Like,
it does
for the graphics, for sure.
Nice. What are you playing, Wilson?
Oh yeah, me. Actually, this. I've been playing a lot of Hades. I think the last time we talked, it was Super Metroid that I was playing. And I told people that I actually wasn't a fan of it. And I'm sticking with that. Like, I completed the game. I really didn't blow me away like a lot of people say it does. But I understand the legacy behind it and what spawned from it after, so I can appreciate that. But it really didn't tickle my fancy. So I started Hades. I think I've died like 28 times now. I think I've put a good, I don't know, I want to say 10, 15 hours. I think I played like this weekend, maybe 6-7 hours in total. Great roguelike, and each run is different. There's all of these new things that happen. There's all of these upgrades you can do as the game progresses. The conversation is great. The voice acting is really good. It just looks wonderful. I'm really glad I started playing it because it's a lot of fun. And on the off on because I'm always playing more than one game. I've also been playing the Professor Layton games on the DS.
Yes. Nice.
Yeah, I started the Curious Village, which is the first one. I've played all of them on the DS, but I'm starting over. And even though I played them to completion and done all the puzzles and stuff, starting over, the puzzles are still damn hard. There's still a lot of like stuff that I forget and I have to remember, or I have to like write down while doing a puzzle. And yeah, like, so just because you've played it through doesn't mean that you'll remember the answer. And that's what I've been playing. A lot of good times with the Layton games.
Nice. I have been playing God of War 4 on the PS4, and it's been amazing. My first experience with God of War games. Juan was giving it to me for not playing that title, and I'm always posting stuff up about like Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor, Horizon Zero Dawn, Spider-Man. He's like, yo, you gotta try God of War. So I finally tried it. I'm playing it on hard once again, and I have not died this much in a very, very long time. It's like I would say it's very, very challenging. I feel as though with every boss that I'm fighting, I have to almost be near perfect with what I do, because if I don't, I end up dying pretty quickly. So I like that challenge aspect of things. And I'm also playing it a little bit differently, so I don't do any skill upgrades until I absolutely have to. So let's say I'm, I think I first started doing my skill upgrades when I had like 3 or 4 upgrades available for me to do, just because I want to use it as like a last resort. Like I can't beat a boss without doing this. So I'm just, I love misery. So that's why I'm playing this game on hard and then adding an additional layer of difficulty to myself.
How much time have you put into it?
I think I probably have like 12 hours, 12 or 15 into it so far. It's been really good. I really, really enjoy the game. It's challenging, but it's not like impossible. So as long as you're good and you play effectively, you can beat the bosses. Sometimes I have difficulty with like random monsters, not even the bosses. Yeah, it's been really fun. I enjoy it.
God of War is so good. Like, it's a really, really good game. And those people who, have only played like the PS2 and the PS3 remake or whatever, it's like they have no idea how different this newest one is.
What's the difference between like PS2 ones, PS3 ones, and the PS4 one?
So the the PS3 ones are just remakes of the PS2 ones. So they're like, better graphics and stuff like that.
HDified.
Yeah, basically, yeah, HDified, HD remasters.
Yeah.
So like, not like nothing crazy. But like the PS2 ones were more, I don't want to say third person, because God of War, the new God of War is third person.
Yeah.
But it's like you're looking above and looking at your character, like kind of like a top-down view in a way.
Okay.
Or at least above them. But God of War, like, I don't know if you've noticed this yet, Robin. The screen never changes.
What do you mean? Like the camera angle? What do you mean?
No, your camera will just moves. It will never change to another screen.
I haven't noticed that.
The whole game is one long camera view.
Oh, so like no loading screens.
What's that?
So like no loading screens and whatnot. It's like a single take type of thing.
No, it will never. There's never like a screen phase. You'll never see a different screen. Like, it won't go from like Kratos to like a screen shift to like.
Oh.
It will just the camera will like if it's going to something else, the camera will move to that other thing and then back to Kratos. It will never go. It will go like that.
I'm gonna pay attention to it now that you pointed it out.
And you will never see that change, I assure you. Like, that's one of the accomplishments that they were really proud of. And it like, people thought it wasn't possible to make a game like that, but They did it, and they did it to such good result. It like I'm so happy that you're playing it because it's a really, really, really good game. And like the way the exploration is done, I'm excited for you. I'm like 12 hours in, you've still got so much to explore and so much to view. It's great looking too. It's
How many hours do you think the game is in total to beat?
How long? What?
How many hours do you think it would take to beat the game?
That's what you said. I want to say 30. Ryan, you played it?
No, but I can I'm searching it on how long to beat.
So Ryan, if you were speedrunning God of War 4 on the PS4, how quickly do you think you could beat this game?
It probably, like, I've never played it, so I'd probably get destroyed as well.
Okay, fair. So when you're going into speedrunning, give us a bit of like insight into what speedrunning is exactly.
Well, just, well, obviously it's trying to beat it as quick as possible. And I can remember early on is with Super Mario 2 is you find out what level was it? Well, there's level 1 where you can jump across the gap, bomb the wall, and then all of a sudden you're in Birdo's room, and then you're like, well, what other little shortcuts are there? And then is it 772? There's the quicksand that you can sink down under and then jump underneath it and then cut through a whole ton of the level. And you just wanted to do it to be able to beat it really quick to, impress your buddies. Look, I could beat Super Mario 2 in like 15 minutes.
Holy shit. Is that what your time is for Super Mario 2?
I can't remember, but you know what I mean. It's probably a little longer than that. It's probably about 20-25 minutes you can do Super Mario 2 in.
Still pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and then when I actually started looking at the actual speedrunning guys, and there's some crazy stuff that gets done.
So
like
you said
the Breath of the Wild speedrun, where that trick with the shield where you bounce off the enemy's head and then you go shooting off into the air. That's insane. Who finds this stuff out?
That's something I've always wondered. Like, how do they, like, what makes them try these things? And this is something that's always like, I've always pondered whenever someone finds a new secret or a glitch, like something just so out of the ordinary, like totally off the wall.
Yep.
And they discover it. And I've never figured out how they discovered these things.
Well, there's one out there that's notorious. It's I can't remember if it's Contra or Super C. I get the two of them, they kind of blend together in my head now. But the guy was jumping and he died. He fell into a pit, and then all of a sudden stage 2 loads. And they've never been able to recreate it. But it was this error halfway through stage 1 where he fell into it. He got hit by an enemy and fell into a pit and then died, but stage 2 loads. But
this was one?
What's that?
Stage 1 he was in?
Yeah, I think it's Contra. Now that I'm actually thinking about it, I can see it's Contra. He fell into a pit in that first level, and then the behind the back base where you have to shoot the targets on the wall scene loaded. Yeah, it's like
Robin,
they've never been able to recreate it.
Robin, have you ever watched any speedruns at all?
No, but I remember when we were doing EGLX a couple of years ago, there was like a speed running section. So I would like walk by and I would look at what people were doing, and they were just powering through the levels. It wasn't like, it felt as though it was they were not challenged at all. It was just super easy for them, and everything seemed like perfect. There was no mistakes being made.
I don't go out of my way to watch speedrun, but I have seen some really, really good ones. Before I go on, when I completed Super Metroid, I may have already said this in a previous podcast, but when I completed Super Metroid, right after that, I went on YouTube and watched like a Super Metroid speedrun. That was insane. Like the accuracy that you have to do some of these moves is like impeccable. Like I can only imagine how much time they put through and like muscle memory they put through to get like just that one thing right, to, you know, shave off a second or you know, shave off like 20 seconds, because one mess up and they're done and they have to start all over again. And that's the craziest thing about speedruns. They mess up, start all over again from the beginning, starting that game right over and playing it through until they get it right. And that's so much dedication. Like, and maybe that's why I've just never gone into speedrunning, because it's just so much dedication, and it would probably make me hate the game.
So Ryan, you said the first game that you speedran was Super Mario 2, and that was just because you wanted to be like, hey, check this out, I can beat this game so quickly. But I'm sure that's not the only game that you speedran. So after
all three Super Marios actually.
Okay, so after, I guess, like after you did one, what was it that inspired you to keep trying to speedrun other games?
It's just fun to try. Like, again, I'm going back to Contra and Super C, because those are my two favorite ones to play. Actually, Bobby gave me shit one day because I said it's not an easy. We were talking about something and I said it's not an easy game like Contra, and he turned around and said, "What? An easy game like Contra?" And he's just, "What are you talking about?" So the more reckless you get with it, the easier it becomes. It's pretty strange, especially with Super C.
Bobby who?
Bobby. Bobby Van L.
Oh,
Duh. Bobby.
Bad Bobby, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he gave me hell one day because of saying Contra was easy. But yeah, as with Super C though, I can get through Super C in about somewhere around 17-18 minutes ballpark.
Okay. Now, is there
if
a
I don't
formula?
choke.
Is there like a formula for you to like explain the thought process when you want to speed run something? Do you play the game initially normally, and then you're like, hey, let me try this again and see if I can do it quicker? How does it work?
You start well, you kind of start going like, what kind of stupid stuff can I do? Can I jump here where I normally probably would wait for a clearing, and then all of a sudden you're like, no, if you just give her and you can get through it, and this bullet won't hit you, and you stand here and stand in this certain spot and you won't get hit at all, and you can just blow through everything.
Okay. When I think of speedrunning, I think a lot of like retro games, but you brought up a good point about the Breath of the Wild. Do you see that speed running is like pretty consistent? It's not specific to only retro games, like newer gen games are speed run pretty often as well?
I can answer this as well. I'll answer your question simply yes. Sorry, no. What was your question?
My question is is speedruns mostly exclusive to retro games, or is speedrunning like consistent? Okay.
No, the answer is no. After I watched that Super Metroid video, I started watching like all these other speedruns on that same time, and there was one for Rise of the Tomb Raider. Person beat Rise of the Tomb Raider in like an hour and a half. And Rise of the Tomb Raider is, you know, a fairly newer game, as we all know. It was the second Tomb Raider after they started doing these like remakes. And it involves a lot of like glitching into places, breaking walls to get to other areas, to bypass other situations. And it was really interesting to watch, because like you could see this person, like, how could I explain it? Like, imagine you ever play a game and you're like walking along and you go like there's a wall, but it's in your, like, you don't see it until it's like right in front of you, and you're like walking into that wall and it's like this like brown tinge. Imagine this person doing that with the game. Like, they're walking into things and all you can see is like this brown tinge, and they're doing all this weird stuff while trying to get into that wall and rolling and stuff like that. And they have like, you can't see where they are. They can't see where they are, but they know what they're doing because they're still doing that until eventually woof, they're through that wall. Like it, and that's the thing I'm talking about. Like, how do these people find these crazy things? Because then you see them like rolling and they're jumping and they're attacking at a certain time. They're using their bow at a certain time to land properly, because there were a lot of like high jumps that they did, and they did something before they fell. So long story short, no, it's not just retro games. Retro games is the more common for speedrunning, but it's definitely not just retro games.
I like whole like tinging thing you were talking about. That reminds me of Pokemon Blue, Red, and Yellow, where you go into Mount Moon and there's no light whatsoever. And if you don't have the Flash HM, everything is dark. So I tried to like back when I was a kid, I used to like try to go through and see if I could find stuff. I never got through it, but I'm sure if I spent countless hours trying to like just fuddle my way through it, maybe I could have made it to like the second level. So that's the only thing my brain gravitates to when you were going through that whole experience. Yeah, 100%. That's what I was doing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually think that the speedrunning is going to get, shall we say, better with more of the open world, like Breath of the Wild, where you can actually skip a lot of stuff. Rather than, I don't know, for example, Grand Theft Auto, where it's still an open world, but there's certain tasks you have to do. With Breath of the Wild, there are certain tasks you have to do, but you can just skip it and head right to the end. So that's going to get.
Like that? Is God of War 4 like that? Can I skip to the end, or do I have to go through all my missions?
Oh, dude, I'm sure if you do some sort of pattern, you know what? I bet you right now, if I go on YouTube right now and look up God of War like speed run, there will probably be somebody who found a way to glitch the system.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fair.
They found something that skips them ahead. Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because a game is never really perfect. Like it's all, well, remember, a game is just all code. It's all computer code or whatever. So there's always like some sort of problem in that code that they were able to, fix through some other command. And that other command could probably be bypassed by somebody in some way that the programmers just never thought about. And this is kind of in relation to one of our past episodes where, it was playing games differently.
Yeah.
Not in the way that they were meant. And that's kind of the same here, playing games differently, not in the way that the coders meant.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like people trying to find exploits.
Yeah.
Like there's people out there that actually enjoy finding the holes in the game.
It's like the Pokemon games again. It's running up and down Cinnabar Island on the right-hand side until you see missing number. And then if whatever your item is that's listed number 5 in your inventory, you end up getting like 100 of it. It's like, who figured that out? How'd you figure that out? They're breaking the code too.
Actually, there's a really good, I don't know, do you guys remember game trailers? Okay, Game Trailers was like a website, and they did this series. It's on YouTube. I think somebody like revitalized it, or saved the videos or something. Maybe even IGN bought Game Trailers and uploaded the videos. But they do this web series called Pop Culture. No, sorry, Pop Fiction. And it's all of these like, can we do? It's like they're exploring game urban legends. Like for instance, missing number 1.
Polybius
is missing number an actual thing, and then they'll show like their results from like what they've attempted. Missing number is a bad example because we all know that, but they've done other ones. Like, have you guys ever played Shadow of the Colossus?
I was going to play either that or God of War, and then I went with God of War.
So in Shadow of the Colossus, there is, where you start, there's like this temple. once you get out of that temple and you go out into the field, if you turn around and you look all the way up, it looks like there's something going on at the top of that temple. Through like glitching and like exploration, people have gotten to the top of that temple. When you get to the top of that temple, if you look up, there's like a higher part to that temple, like another probably hard to access part. And the urban legend I think there's 16 colossi in that game. The rumor was, is there a 17th colossi at the top of that temple that can be accessed in some sort of way? And I won't ruin it. I'm not going to say what the answer was, but it's really, really interesting stuff. Like, they do some stuff that I had never known about. Did you know about the hidden levels? Like, there's like 999 hidden levels in Super Mario Brothers 1. Everybody knows about the minus world, but nobody knows about the other 999 levels. I use levels very, very
Loosely.
basically. Yeah. Thank you. Because they're not really levels, but they're areas that you can play through a certain method with the Mario cartridge and I believe tennis.
So I had no idea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like, this is kind of in relation to speedrunning, you know, like people just go out of their way to do all of these weird things. Like this Mario thing wasn't found until somebody took Mario out, put tennis in, and then took it out and put Mario back in. Like that.
That's wild.
You know, one of these levels, like the levels are like, there's like Goombas when like a swimming level. Like it's just like different sprites and stuff formed to like make other levels. Some of the levels are a little silly, some of them are a little bit more accessible, but it's like 999 versions of this through this crazy through this like crazy process of like experimentation.
That's nuts.
But yes, Pop Fiction, really, really good. Watch it after you watch all the other episodes of Sprites, Bytes, and Pixels.
Amazing. So if we're talking about speedrunning, what what do you have on your plate right now, Ryan? Like what's been your greatest accomplishment in your like speedrunning experiences? What's the quickest you've ever beaten a game?
Quickest. You got me on that one. I can't even think of that one.
How do you not remember your accomplishments?
It's been a long time since I've been doing that, but I have been actively playing Super C for the past month, maybe 2 months, and I don't know how many. Like you said before, you die once, reset, and you start again, and you go again, and I keep on capturing it, and I did a cleanup the other night, but I probably still have about 25 different videos recorded that just say Super C run, and they're failed attempts, and you just stop the recording and start again.
That reminds me of Ronald Dean and Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Like he's like the Mike Tyson Punch Out king. He used to do like live streams, I think, on Facebook of him just beating Mike Tyson over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just becomes an art form at some point. You just do it so much, you become like completely proficient at it.
Well, actually, our friend, so Ron Dean, he's a paramedic. Our other friend who's a paramedic, Mike Sharps, he's always into speedrunning Mega Man X. He loves Mega Man X. He'll play it like to completion a lot, to the point where he can only play it on like an actual like Super Nintendo. He can't do it on like a Retron or like through emulation, because it's all about pinpoint accuracy. Like if you're off by like a pixel or like a button press, it like throws off your whole game. Latency, all those technical terms that basically mean that the game isn't running as good as it should be.
Thank you for the memory jog. Yeah, I also Mega Man 2 was another one that I've done quite a bit. There was a night just before lockdown, February 2019 or 2020, I guess it was. A friend of mine came up from Atlanta and we went to Tilt in Toronto, the arcade.
Yeah.
And I sat there on the retro NES couch and started playing Mega Man 2 and just started going. And all of a sudden people are like watching as I just blast through the levels. I think I choked on Quickman stage and I just gave up. It was those beams in Quickman stage that got me when on that outing, and I was just like, I'm done.
Is it those ones that like you got to go down vertically and they're like
yeah, that one.
Yeah.
It was like the very last stretch of those stupid beams got me when I was at Tilt, and I went on Tilt and I just kept on screwing up, and I was like, forget it, I'm done. I'm going to the bar getting another drink.
Nice.
I remember playing Mega Man 2 back in the day, and yeah, those beams, I always remembered that part because I was always messing up at that part. You had to be completely accurate, because if you weren't, they were going to get you like right away.
Yeah, you're done. And on the note of what you said about playing on actual console versus emulation, I always found I think it's Bubble Man stage, the very first when you're jumping on those platforms that fall.
Yeah, and the waterfall behind you.
Yeah. On some emulators, it was just there was a little bit of a delay, and if you're sitting there tapping your button, you'll just go down and you'll fall with the platform. So you could never properly get the timing to jump across those platforms. When
I got my Retron 5, it what are you doing? Stop, damn cat. Yeah, my Retron 5, I was pretty obsessed with it for a while. But I started playing like certain games on it. I think one of the first ones was like Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest. And I'm not gonna like brag or anything, but I'm pretty good at that game. Not like crazy speedrunning good, but I'm pretty decent. Every time I play it, because I've played it many times over and over, I get all the secrets, I do all the extras, I find all the collectibles. But there was this one bonus round. It's on a roller coaster, and you go from one room to another, and in that bonus room, you're on the roller coaster and you're going all the way across up this like part, and then it's going really slow, and then it's all of a sudden goes backwards, and you got to go all the way backwards like really fast, leaping over all of these platforms. Because of the fact that I was playing it on the Retron 5, the delay was bad, so I was missing these button presses, even though I had beaten this area so many times. And I swear to God, I think I played that bonus level 20 something times before I could finally beat it. Actually, it was a Facebook video that I even did, like showing like how frustrated I was with that stupid bonus level, because I just kept failing over and over on something that I'm pretty good at now.
So it's challenging, is what you're saying. It's not easy to speedrun.
It's challenging when you're not using the right equipment.
Mm-hmm.
This is why they use like authentic, consoles and stuff like that. However, I do find when I watch a speedrunning video, it looks like they're doing it through emulation. Like, how does
Some are good. Some emulators work well.
Yeah,
But,
is that
yeah.
like, so when they're speedrunning, they are usually using like an emulator?
I've seen mixes. I've seen mix of both. So I was just looking at the Super C speedrun numbers last night after you mentioned this about mentioned talking about this, and I'm pretty sure that the number one has it on an emulator right now.
What was his time?
Like 12 minutes and 65 seconds, I think it was. Yeah,
It's nuts.
1265, I think it was. It said. Well, why would it say that? 1305. I don't know. Whatever.
So there's actually a website called speedrun.com, and it just tracks the high scores for how quickly people beat games.
12 minutes and 44 seconds. Sorry. There we go. And they're on emulators. The top two are on emulators. 12 minutes, 44 seconds, and 150 milliseconds.
Does it say what emulator they're using?
No, it just says emulator. It says emu after it.
Okay.
So
I was just curious because I when I used to emulate, like I don't know, I was never somebody that found a difference between a console and an emulator. But with the Retron, it was a little bit different. Like I did see, button press differences and delays and stuff like that. So I don't know. Maybe emulation isn't that bad if you're using, like you're saying, like if you're using certain ones.
You know what's interesting? I was checking up speedrun.com for Pokemon Red and Blue, and somebody's beaten the game in like an hour and 45 minutes, which is just crazy to me because it's like you have to spend time to train your Pokemon so you can fight the gym leaders. So I was like, how do they manage that? That's crazy.
So this is what they probably did. They probably used. This is all like off the top of my head. I have no idea. This could be totally false, but maybe they used a glitch that boosted their Pokemon in some way, so they got more powerful, and then some sort of glitch that got into like another area that would be inaccessible like later on.
Or they traded really high level Pokemon to themselves early into the game, allowing them to do whatever the hell they wanted.
Also, speedrunning can be a little unspecific. Sometimes speedrunning means, beating a boss. Sometimes it means end credits. Sometimes it means, something. Like it doesn't always mean like, you have to get to like a certain part and then it's considered done. Like I don't know if I'd consider it speedrunning, but I watched a video of a guy who maybe I also said this in our playing games differently episode. It was a guy playing Ocarina of Time, but he was blindfolded.
What?
Oh, I've seen those ones.
He was blindfolded and he had to pull the sword out of the Temple of Time to become adult Link, and that's when his run was done. But he did it blindfolded.
Wow.
There's also a. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's really cool. Like you go.
There's also a guy out there who blindfold runs through Mike Tyson Punch Out, and it's insane.
Wow, take that, Ron.
That's what Ron has to do next. Play blindfolded with 0 hits.
It's nuts.
Yeah, can you do it, Ron?
It's an open challenge now.
So what they're probably doing is there's like little sounds that they're probably hearing because that's what the person playing Ocarina of Time was doing. They were listening to certain steps. They were listening to they were doing a lot of different views because they could hear certain things in one like side and certain things in the other side, and they were it was them trying to show that like blind people can play games as well. It was kind of in respect to the blind, but it was really, really fun. Like Fun, yeah, fun, but it was really, really interesting to watch. Like, blew my mind. And I think it took him like, I think it was like a 2 hour long video, maybe an hour and a half, but it was really, really good. Like, I was really surprised. And when he did like, when he beat certain bosses, when he accessed certain areas that would be held difficult playing regularly, he got like really like some good applause from the people. Like, it was, you know what? I'm gonna try and find that video. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll link it. Who knows?
Sweet.
So, you mentioned there about timing, and it's to a certain boss or to a certain, like you said there with pulling the sword at the temple. A lot of speedrunning categories have different, a lot of speedrunning for a game have different categories.
Yes.
So you can have like 100%. So
Yes.
it was with, I think Mario 64 is a very popular one. So they'll have however many stars or minimum type of stars, no glitching, and then glitching category. So it splits it up, and it's almost fair how there's someone who can speed run and doesn't use any glitches, and then you put someone who does use it, some game breaking glitches, and puts them in a different category. So that's kind of neat how they differentiate that.
I've always like I've always appreciated that as well, because it gives everybody kind of an opportunity to play a game their own way if they want to contribute to the speedrunning community. Because there are people that, enjoy playing with glitches, because it makes them feel like a little bit more powerful. There's people that enjoy not playing with them because it makes them feel like, in another way, more powerful, because they can do things that other people can't, the right way.
Mm-hmm. So we're coming up on the 1 hour marker. I think that was really interesting hearing about like all these details about speedrunning. I think it's ever since we started talking about Super C, I've been Googling or going into that website speedrun and trying to see what other records people have. People have beaten God of War on PS4 in like 3 hours and 59 minutes, and Jedi Fallen Order in an hour and a half. This is like, I don't know how they do it. It's freaking crazy.
If you think it, there's a chance that someone has thought it too and done it. Or if they haven't, do it or try it. Like, it's just video gaming is so much more than just level to level. Like, actually breaking down a game and like exploring those options. It's really, really cool. I'm still not into speedrunning, but I'm gonna watch more speedrunning videos, because they're a lot, like, I keep saying a lot of fun, but they're a lot of fun to watch, to see like where they break the game. Just really, really cool. And one more thing, like, I remember watching, it was like a championship. I think it was like a Nintendo championship. They had two teams of three guys each, and they were playing Ninja Gaiden 1, 2, and 3. First guys played Ninja Gaiden 1. Once they beat that, handed it to the next guys who started playing Ninja Gaiden 2. Once they beat that, handed it to the next guys to play Ninja Gaiden 3. And it was like they were all speed running. It was so good to watch. Like, because this guy would mess up, and this guy would mess up, and then this guy would mess up again, and he would catch up to this guy. It was, yeah. Like, maybe I'll link that video too, because that was really, really good. Hell, I'm probably gonna watch that again. I really, really like that video.
Nice.
Here's something funny. I have speedrun.com open right now, and any idea what the speedrunning time for Battletoads is? Original Nintendo Battletoads.
Battletoads has like three different warps, or it's either 2 or 3 different warps.
Yeah, this one says any percent. So yeah, I think they probably do use warps.
Okay, so using the warps, I'm gonna say Battletoads, all those levels, doing it right. Because I've watched someone play through to completion. They mess up a bit, but not that crazy amount. I'm gonna say 37 minutes.
Robin, any guess?
55 minutes.
12 minutes 33 seconds.
Okay, they have to have glitched that. I need
That's
to find this out.
12 minutes and 33 seconds for Battletoads. What?
I need to figure out how they did this. Like,
I have to
that's
watch that. I have to watch that.
We see 12 minutes and like 33 seconds, but it's like how many hours did they put into it for them to get good enough for them to like beat it in 12 minutes? That's nuts.
well, with Battletoads being like one of the hardest, arguably one of the hardest games because of like all the things that can kill you instantly. That's nuts to like dedicate that much time. You know, that would frustrate me to hell. Like I said earlier, I'm playing Hades and I'm dying a lot, but I've only died like, 27 times or something like that. But Battletoads, you're gonna die a lot in that game, and every time you die, starting back over. Like, what?
Yeah, I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it. Not crazy. Battletoads. Battletoads drives me nuts.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it.
I think it drives a lot of people nuts. It's a very, very tough game.
It is.
I can picture like the Battletoads death noise in my head, like right now. That doo 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 doo.
You're dead.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, this is an awesome episode, guys. Thank you very much for joining us, Ryan. If anybody wants to go in and see some really cool speedrun times, you can check out speedrun.com. I spent the last like 5-7 minutes just punching in some of my favorite games and seeing how quickly people have beaten it. So that was really cool. Overall, awesome episode. Really cool for us to get a little bit more insight into the speedrun community and like what speedrunning really entails. So that was really nice to see as well.
Yeah. So for the people who are watching, like, have you speedrunned before? And if you have, like, what have you played? And did you accomplish a good time, or are you still speedrunning? And if you haven't, like, I don't know, give it a shot. I don't know.
And Ron Dean, if you're listening to this, if you want to just go blindfolded and play Mike Tyson's Punch Out, just let us know. And then imagine into an episode down the road and be like, instead of speedrunning, it's blindfolded video gaming. It'll be the next episode 30.
And I'm gonna try and find those links for those videos I've talked about, because they are really, really fun to watch. Really, really cool. Really, really cool things.
Sweet. And sorry, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, if you're into the speedrunning stuff, once you're actually watching it, is it the something about blank? So something about Super Metroid speedrun, something about Breath of the Wild speedrun, and it's all animations, and they're really well done.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah.
Something about Kirby one. I've watched many times because it's really funny. The same with the Yoshi's Island one. They're
really funny.
Really funny videos. It's like really silly animation. It's like the game. It shows the gameplay through animation, but like the scenarios are just ridiculous. I know exactly.
It's like this bonkers flash animation that twists and puts a little bit of humor into the game. It's pretty interesting what he's done.
Sweet. And then one thing I wanted to just remind everybody is we are trying to push to 100 subscribers. So don't forget, we have a giveaway that's happening. Once we hit 100, we'll do a random giveaway of a Super Nintendo console plus a Super Mario World. So it's like the perfect package to get into speedrunning with. Would you say, Ryan?
And thank you to Ryan for contributing that Super Nintendo and Super Mario World.
And a copy of Pagani for us.
Oh, yeah?
Generous man. There will be a statue made for your generosity. So,
in my honor. Right on.
Awesome. Thanks again, guys. Really appreciate it.
Cool.
All right. Ciao for now.
Split up.
Peace.